Hi, everybody. My name is Ray Ramos. I am a sentimental man, and thank you for joining. I'd like to tell you about how I got started in all this. But before I do, a big thank you to everybody that's subscribed so far. Um, Big shout out to Tommy Scollville. For those who aren't familiar, Tommy and his brother Johnny uh, operate one of the most successful hot sauce slash heat pepper channels on YouTube. Johnny's legendary in the industry of all things hot and produces some really great stuff with Blazing Foods. As well as it's just a fantastic community. So if anybody's interested, I strongly urge you to go check out Johnny's channel, Chase the Heat Johnny and Tommy's channel. They're both spectacular people, and it's a great family-friendly community that isn't going to hurt your feelings at all, unless you don't like hot stuff. But anyway, I want to get you guys started on how I got started with all this stuff. And started is redundant. uh, Smoking a 7LA non-Periel with Purple Cow. Pretty cool. So, how I got started was I was at I think it was a coffee bar in high school. And I saw all these cigars, and I remember thinking anybody that I ever saw had money that smoked cigars. So it was like a status symbol. It's like, man, you're the coolest guy in town, the richest guy. You get all the girls. You get, you got it all. And but I looked at it and I looked at the prices, and I was like, no, I'm gonna try this. I was like 18 years old, and it's 18 or 17, something like that, and I grabbed the biggest, darkest one that I could find. And I got about a third of the way through that and turned like 90 shades of green. And I was so sick. It was horrible. But after I recovered, I still finished that stick, by the way, because, that's how I roll. That's how the big bad bear Ray Ramos rolls. And I got so sick, but after I finished it and calmed down and started feeling better, I started thinking, wait a minute, this isn't just for rich folk. I mean, the price, some of these cigars, I mean, I could afford those even on what little I did make back then. And I started exploring and exploring, and just fell in love with cigars. And I realized cigars, much like a lot of consumable hobbies, it's really a great equalizer, because you could have a janitor sitting next to a politician in a lounge, and they could be talking about whatever, getting along great. And the world outside, which they're so separated, it doesn't matter. Your social status doesn't matter in a cigar lounge over a cigar. And that was so powerful to me, because here I am, a kid that grew up very poor, well, at least as poor as you can get in the States without being homeless, and a kid that was bullied, that didn't have anything. I started to understand, wait a minute, I can have something that I didn't have before, really, inside of a cigar lounge. And that's kind of acceptance. That's somebody meeting me at my level, not expecting me to be at their level, or rejecting me because I have a different thought process. And it was so special to me, and it's held on to who I am for over 20 years now. And that's the reason I'm doing this, is because that's still very powerful in my life. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. I get the warm and fuzzies talking about it. So you fast forward a little while. I had just gotten out of basic training. Um, just gotten out of the military. I'm living with my father at the time, and he's got this friend named Tom. Tom, old school cowboy. He was, if you're familiar with country, I forget that guy's name. He just recently passed. He's saying, "I am a lineman for the county." Well, Tom was a lineman for the county, retired, and he was 70 something back then, and had over 300 pipes. And I remember watching the Clint Eastwood movies and see old Lee Van Cleef with that pipe sticking out. A lot of the old school movies that I watched, they always had an old timer. Even like the old black and white movies, there's always somebody with a pipe, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. I really want to try that. So I'm talking to old Tom, and everybody's in the back drinking a beer, and he says, "Well, come on, boy." So I go in the house. He says, "I want you to take a look at these here pipes and pick you out one. There's some guys fishing behind me. And pick you out one." And so, me being polite, I pick out the crappiest one that I can find, and he got mad at me. And so he picked out one that was a little less crappy. And he gave it to me, loaded it up with some, I think it was some True Value tobacco. Something that you can get like at a gas station or whatever. I remember it not being fantastic, but it was cool because it had a pipe in my mouth. And it took me a good while to figure out how to use it. But it was just, there's something about having a pipe in your mouth, packing it, and taking care of it that made me feel great. I love the reaction when I'm out in public with a pipe, because nobody expects that. They expect some, gray-haired old-timer with a old school hat and a cane to be smoking a pipe. They don't expect somebody in their 30s, late 30s, or even 20s for that matter, to smoke a pipe. So that's always a conversation starter, and it's awesome to have something positive come out of a day, even if it's just a weird reaction to a guy smoking a pipe. And it's just so, I don't know, man, it's just special. You see the craftsmanship in these pipes, you see the craftsmanship in the blends, and one thing that's unique about the pipe community is the different names of these blends. This one's Purple Cow. I got one called Bow-Legged Bear, Frenchie's Sons of Bitches. I mean, it doesn't take itself too seriously on the tobacco side a lot of the times, and the level of craftsmanship in the pipes. I mean, this pipe was made in the 80s, and it's beautiful. The amount of care that it took to make this is so special, because this guy who made this, whoever worked at the Savinelli factory, took great care and pride. And I love being a part of a hobby that there's so much pride in what you're doing, and it just keeps me coming back again. It's just a beautiful thing, both tobacco and or pipe tobacco, smoking a pipe, cigars. Um, they make me a happy man, and there's something I can always go back to no matter how bad of a day I've had, and it just melts those things away. And just wanted to share with you how I got started with cigars and pipes, and get this thing going. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through these first two videos, and I hope you stay around a lot longer and see what this thing can come into. Let me know what you think. talk to me. I want to hear from you and be inspired by you, as I hope I'm inspiring you to further enjoy your hobby, or to start smoking a cigar or a pipe. And thank you to everybody that subscribed. Thank you, Mr. Tommy Scollville. You're the man. You're a legend. You know, old Johnny will get around to it eventually, I'm sure. But take care, everybody. I look forward to seeing you next Saturday. And we'll see you next time. Be good.